Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much to our new subscribers, and if you're watching this video and you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please do hit the subscribe button and join this growing YouTube tribe. Today we are going to be talking about why you need to document your work as a professional. It's going to be a two-part series. In today's video we are going to be looking at why you need to document your work as a professional, and in the second video we are going to be seeing some of the mindset shifts that you have to make in order to properly document your work as a professional or even in your personal life. For years I didn't share my work online or even talked about what I was doing, whether publicly or in private. I didn't think it mattered. I didn't think it had any benefits or any addition to where I was going to or where I was. But eventually I got to learn about documenting my work. First of all, I learned about sharing my work, and then I eventually learned about documenting even in private. And ever since I started sharing my work, both publicly and privately, a lot of things have changed. I have met amazing people. I have come across a lot of good opportunities. I'm going to tell you 4 reasons why you should document your work, and I'm also going to go ahead and give you some low-hanging tips on how you can get started with documenting your work as soon as possible. Let's get into it. The first reason why you need to document your work is that it is the proof of your contribution. Over the last few months, I've had the opportunity to speak with a number of professionals, and one of the challenges that they face in getting their documentation for a certain opportunity they're applying for is that they haven't documented their work over the years. And I'm talking about people who have done exceptionally well in the things they've been doing, but because there is no repository or there is no archive or anywhere on the internet or even in their own personal drives where they have shared the impact of the work they've been doing over the years, they are now finding it very difficult to prove the things that they've done. If you did something, there is no proof that you did that thing online, it will mostly be a case of like, true to my heavenly father for you, like your word against whoever else is taking credit of that stuff that you said you did. So there are certain things that you can do. Maybe you wrote an article or you achieved something at work, whatever it is that you were able to achieve in your career especially, and if you don't post about it, there is no proof. And tomorrow there could be an opportunity where someone wants to hire someone who can do this stuff. They are mostly going to look at the people who have very visible evidences or proof that they have done that work. So a quick example, let's say you want to hire a web designer today. There are likely 3 places you're going to look. You're either going to go on social media and search for web designer, or you're going to go on Google, which a lot of people rarely do, to search for web designers in Nigeria, or you're going to ask someone you know to give you a recommendation or a referral. The point in recommendation is that the people who are going to probably recommend you should have seen your work somehow. It's either you have worked for them in the past or they saw something about what you're doing online. For instance, if you reach out to me today and say that you're looking for a UI UX designer, off the top of my head, I know about 5 UI UX designers that I can recommend. And I'm not going to recommend them because they've ever worked for me, but I simply know that these people are capable of building a UI UX project simply because of what they are posting on social media. Is because they have shown their work. There is a proof of what they've done. I'm not just going to, go on LinkedIn and just pick out anybody who has UI UX in their title. You could have UI UX in your title, but if I click on your posts or I go to your project section in your LinkedIn and I don't see any projects where I can see what you've done, you answering a UI UX designer is not enough. Having a profile on social media is great, but beyond having a profile on social media, documenting your work in public especially is a good way to show the proof of the work you've done. Now let's talk about the proof of work in terms of internal or private documentation. This one happens mostly in your place of work. For certain places of work, the things you're doing are not meant to be shared outside. right? They are not meant to be shared on social media. But in those cases, we have what we call mid-year reviews, right? End of the year reviews. A lot of times at the end of the year, you probably forget most of the things that you did from the start of the year. But documenting your work, keeping the numbers, the stats, the impact metrics helps you to be able to give a more robust end of year reflection for yourself at the end of the day. But if you're not documenting, you wouldn't even remember the things that you've done. So these are your proof. This is the proof of the contributions you've made to that company. Think of this in various ways, not just in your career, not just about social media posting. Think about in your personal life as well. There are things that you've done in your personal life. Maybe this year you've been able to read 3 books. This year you've been able to write 2 articles. This year you've been able to send 5 editions of your newsletter. Those are proofs that you can document either on social media or in your own private folders to ensure that whenever there is an opportunity where someone asks you, oh, you do this, or you write newsletters, can we see what is the stats on that? What is the impact metrics? You have it handy. If your newsletter platform collapses today or they are closing down today, do you have somewhere that you can see the impact or the metrics over the last 1 or 2 years of that newsletter without having to run helter-skelter and start calling the newsletter company? I'll give you another quick instance. As you all know, I have this YouTube channel and I literally have screenshots of this YouTube channel from 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers, and I'm currently counting down to my 300 subscribers for a screenshot. Honestly, I am not taking those screenshots because I want to give it to anybody, to say, okay, this is what I'm doing, but I'm keeping them for myself. I want to see the growth that is happening in this YouTube channel, and I'm documenting that. There are so many areas of your life that documenting your work or the things you're doing in that area cuts across. So when we are talking about documenting your work, don't think only of the career and the professional achievements. Think towards other aspects of your life, other growth areas of your life that is going on, the growth that you've recorded, whether in your podcast, in your social media channels. Those are growth metrics that you can tie in to tell a story one day, and you should be documenting that. The second reason why you should document your work is that it saves you time and also save other people's time. When you document your work, it's easier for people to find you. It's easier for people to vouch for you, to know that you're capable of doing what you said you'll do without having to go through a lot of hassle looking for evidences to prove. And this is very time saving. I usually love it a lot when I see people who have platforms where you can literally see everything that they are about in one glance. If someone wants to invite you for a speaking engagement, for instance, and they look at your portfolio or they look at your website or they look at your LinkedIn, is it easy for them to know what you're currently about? Some of you have websites and those websites are totally outdated, like they haven't been updated for like the last 2 years. You might think you've documented your work, but that documenting of your work is not up to date. You have to ensure that in documenting your work, that you put out the most recent updates about yourself so that you can save people's time. People who want to invite you for speaking engagements or to invite you for certain opportunities won't have to run helter-skelter or having to send emails back and forth. At one glance, people should be able to see what you're about. And with that, it saves them time and also saves your own time as well. Career growth, that's number 3. You're on social media and so am I. So we've seen countless people who had like this monumental leap in their career because of something they posted on social media. You know the story about the Shopify, the girl who made the video, talking about the things that she has done and asking Shopify if they can hire her as an intern. Watching that video, like, it moved me, it inspired me, because this is what building in public is all about. The girl has been doing something. She has been doing beautiful work, creating content on YouTube, participating in a lot of activities. And if you watch that video, you notice that most of the things she has been doing has been public documented. They were documented, and that video, that 30-second clip or 1 minute clip that she shared, was not just a video that was made that day. Like, it was not just about the day the video was made. It was a culmination of several other past documented work. And those were the things she was able to bring together to make that one single video that got her into Shopify. So if there's something about career growth, I think this should just be it. Keep documenting your work. When you document your work, one day it can all tie in together and you can use the documented work to tell a more comprehensive story. Documenting does not have to be verbose or something, with numbers and metrics. It can be something as simple as taking a picture. Some of you go for events where you're invited to speak and you speak and you don't take out a single picture. You don't care. You're not a picture person. I hope that at the end of this video, you start learning that documentation doesn't have to be about numbers or something like super elaborate. It's just about you having that mindset that for everything that you're doing, you have to take a shot of it, whether a picture or a screenshot, just to document it for posterity's sake. So career growth and opportunities is something that documenting your work does for you. If you take a closer look to Tunde Onakoya's work, you would notice that one of the reasons he has gotten several global recognition is also because he had studied and mastered the act of documenting his work on social media. The amazing work he has been doing with the guys and the boys in the slum areas in Nigeria wouldn't have gotten to where it is today if he was doing them in isolation, if he was doing them without sharing them. He was telling the stories and ensuring that the whole world was seeing it. I know that probably when he started sharing his posts, people weren't paying so much attention, because that's one thing that happens with documenting your work. When you're putting out your work, sometimes crickets, nobody hears it, nobody sees it. The day the people who are meant to be seeing it are going to start seeing it, the previous footprints that you've left is going to add a layer of authenticity to the current win that you're having. Most of the people that eventually made it had been at the process for years, just that they were talking, but no one, or the world basically, wasn't ready to listen at that time, but they continued doing it until one day it starts fetching them opportunities. So if you're currently documenting your work and you're thinking, they say documenting work brings career opportunities, but I've been at this thing for a couple of months or a couple of years and nobody's listening, this is an encouragement to you to continue documenting your work, both publicly and privately. The day the world is ready for you, they are going to listen, and they are not going to come to your wall or to where you are and not see anything. There is going to be a lot of work to prove that you've been doing this work. The fourth reason why you need to document your work is that it helps you to build trust. People usually like to partner with or even buy from people that they know and they trust. And there is no way for people to trust you if they don't feel like they know you, right? And the only way for people to think that they know you is based on the kind of things that you put out there, the kind of work that you're documenting. So this is the reason why you need to put out your work. You need to, in addition to privately documenting a couple of things, because of course I know that there are some things that are not particularly for public consumption, but in as much as you're keeping some things private, there should be a level of your work that should be visible for people to see. That is how you build trust. That is how people get to trust your skill. That is how people get to trust your expertise. That's the way people get to trust that you are capable of doing the things that you know how to do. So if you have any form of awards, or you have some recommendations, or you have some good word of mouth from people, all of those things are things that you shouldn't just keep private. They should be public. There are third-party evidences that the things that you said you can do, that you're actually capable of doing them. And this in turn builds trust in people. I hope that these four reasons give you a form of encouragement or proof enough for you to start documenting your work. So before we wrap up this video, I want to talk about some of the ways that you can start documenting your work without having to overthink. So this video is mostly targeted at people who have some reservations about documenting in public. And that's why I had to add that overthinking, because some people, when they put out a post, they kind of cringe, and they don't like the whole thing, right? So one of the ways that you can start building in public, and my preferred and most recommended way, is to do reflections. Okay, so reflections are a way for you not to post in real time. It helps you not post what you're currently going through, but it helps you to post things in retrospect. For people who overthink a lot, this one is very good, because with reflections, you're not afraid of sharing too much. You're not afraid whether the things you're sharing are going to jeopardize your current position. Let's say when you were in the university, you had a standout result, or you had something that you won back in the university. You might think, Talking about the standard result that I had in university, it's not like beating things too much. I mean, it's been 10 years ago. No, it's not. You can always draw lessons, experiences from your university days, the things you did that made you get a first class in your master's or in your undergraduate degree, the lessons you learned from starting a career all over again, the lessons you learned from pivoting into a different career path, like reflections. Another thing I like about reflections is that it helps you to post from a point of knowledge, a point of expertise, because since you're sharing something that has already happened, you've probably learned the lessons from there. You basically know things that happen. You know the mistakes that happen there, things you would have done better, things you wish you knew, before you did that stuff. It doesn't have to be things that happened 10 years ago. You can even reflect on something that happened last week. But in this way, you don't have to overthink it a lot. In addition to reflections, it's also important to share a couple of the things currently happening in your life just to build some authenticity. People don't want to, watch someone always do throwbacks, right? Sometimes you still need to write about the things that are currently happening. It could be a course you're currently taking or a certification you just got, a new lesson you just learned this week, or maybe some goals that you were able to achieve this month. Basically, share from the things that you're comfortable with sharing. It's totally okay if there are certain kind of content you don't like to share. You have to start small, start from where you're comfortable, and don't forget to also to also document in private. I hope that this video is helpful and that you start to document your work both in public and in private. I hope to see you in the part 2 of this video. Bye.